Ready? So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for LittleKuriboh! Hello, welcome. How are you?
I'm very good. How's everybody here?
Wow. Wow. I'm at a loss for words. Will everybody hate me if I say I've never seen a single Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Series?
That's cool.
So for the benefit of those who don't know, not saying me, tell us what it's all about.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is basically, I took the original show Yu-Gi-Oh! And I took the card games out of it, and I was left with about 2 minutes worth of footage. So it really wasn't that much hard work, but I ended up making it slightly funny, some people might say, and I did all the voices myself because I kind of figured that I could do that because I've been watching the show, and I watched an episode where Tristan at the end says, "I knew it wasn't the real Kaiba the whole time." And so pretty much Tristan was the progenitor for the whole thing, so we can owe everything to Tristan Taylor.
Where did you get the idea?
Tristan Taylor, no. I was very bored one day, and I decided I wanted to be involved in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom, and I thought originally that I was going to do it by writing fan fiction. And then I decided maybe a fandom of some sort, and so I had the Yu-Gi-Oh! DVDs lying around, and I spliced together a bunch of footage, and at the end of the day I decided, wait, I could do something completely original and dub it over and make it funny. And whilst, to be honest, you could say that that's not something that nobody's done before, because a lot of people have done like anime spoofs and things like that, but I gave it a title and kind of gave it a theme, and I made it an episodic series, so at the end of the day, I turned it into something that people were interested in actually seeing more of, rather than just seeing it as a one-time thing. And it kind of got a life of its own because of the fandom. I owe everything to you guys, honestly.
When was it that you first started watching Yu-Gi-Oh?
I first started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty much around the time that the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged came out, because... which is strange because the first episode came out when pretty much the last episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Had aired. So I kind of got into the show, as I do with a lot of shows, when it got cancelled. So I kind of feel like I'm the reason that a lot of shows die. I got into Mystery Science Theater 3000 during the final season. I got into Xena Warrior Princess after that got cancelled, of all things. And so I kind of feel like I'm the thing that sort of vacuums up after everybody's done, you know? I'm the janitor of different fandoms, I guess.
Would you like to sit down?
Oh, sure, sorry.
What is this all about?
This is made by a good friend of mine. This is the Millennium Championship, which you guys have seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged? Do you guys know Nappa? The guy who does the voice of Nappa made that belt for me. Takahata 101. He's made a bunch of wrestling-style belts for a bunch of different abridges. He made the Patty Cake Championship for himself, and he made the International Awesome Championship for the guy who directs Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Kaiser Neko. And he made this one for me as kind of a thank you for all the work I put into Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and for just as a symbol of friendship. Friendship. So yeah, that was a really sweet gift.
So. It says here that we're supposed to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged Series.
We don't have to.
Is that something you want to do?
Yeah, we can do that, yeah, sure.
Yeah, is that something you guys want to do? And also...
We can talk about Naruto Abridged!
And there's also something very exciting. We're going to be seeing a new episode.
We are going to see a new episode. So you will no longer have an excuse to say that you've never seen an episode.
I took a peek.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was just trying to see what kind of reaction they'd have. If they'd stone me, throw tomatoes.
Fortunately, they didn't.
Yeah, fortunately, they're pretty nice. So yeah.
I was going to say, how do you follow Nabishin? And unfortunately, you guys seem to be okay with having me on stage. I was quite tempted to come out and sing the Nerima Daikon Brothers theme. But I don't know. Yeah?
Gonna live a hell of a dream today, one that don't involve a ho-ho. I dream not of money, but music that we sing in the show.
Wonder how a sweet young thing like me. I don't think I can do that.
Well done. So somebody said they wanted to talk about you. How do you be you?
How do I be me?
Yeah.
Lots of oxygen.
Expensive stuff.
Expensive oxygen.
Yeah.
You've been to an oxygen bar? It is pretty expensive.
I heard of that. Yeah, so how does one become LittleKuriboh?
Be at the right place at the right time, honestly. I honestly feel like a lot of the fame that has been attributed to me is more due to, honestly, you guys, the fandom, because it's literally like, I never went out of my way to promote myself or my show. I literally just made it and kind of let it settle, and then everybody else sort of gathered around and was like, oh wow, this is great, we should talk about this on websites and on forums and stuff. And I kind of like looked away and then looked back, and there was like a million people surrounding this thing that I'd done, and I don't know where they all came from, but they were there. But I honestly, I feel like I owe everything to you guys. I really do.
Who's your favorite character?
Who's my favorite character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
Totally Marek.
Marek is basically me when I was 15 years old. Not so much the way he dresses, but the way he behaves, his attitude towards life, and being very loud, and being an idiot, and just generally being in denial about a lot of his stupid ideas being stupid ideas. I was always the guy who sort of sat in the corner and yelled quotes from things. I was once one of those people. Now I make the quotes. But yeah, Marek is probably my favorite. Outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, totally Naruto from my Naruto spoof. But Marek in general, he's awesome. And the reason he's awesome is because you can kind of say anything as Marek and it sounds really funny, so my job's already done.
I like milkshakes.
Who's your least favorite?
I mean, I sound kind of sexist when I say this, but any of the female characters, if only because I don't think I can do a very good job with the voice. I mean, my Valentine, for example, is very, very awkward because it doesn't sound remotely feminine. It sounds like, yeah, see, we're gonna get that Elliot Ness, see? It sounds like a 50s gangster or something like that, with awesome breasts.
All right, we've got more questions coming from the audience later on, but first, the new episode.
Should I introduce this, or?
Yes, please.
So for those who haven't seen the more recent episodes, this episode takes place right after Kaiba defeats Lecter in a duel, and Mokuba has been kidnapped by evil Tristan, and is now in the possession of Noah Kaiba, who's giving him donuts. And it starts off pretty much right where that left off, so if we want to just go ahead and play that, and we'll see if it's... if you like it, then it'll be online in a couple of weeks.
I just realized what the X stands for in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal. Don't make it. I don't want anybody else when I think of time I admitted the truth. He really does look damn good in one of those.
Space, I wanna go to space, wanna go to space. Let's go to space. Ooh, hi, where are we going? Let's go to space, I love space, I'm the best at space.
Access denied.
1112.
Access denied.
1113.
Access denied.
1114.
Access denied.
This door is a bitch.
You guys like that?
So, what was going through your mind while all this was happening?
You mean just now?
Yeah, just now.
I wanted to take Bender out of the episode because I forgot I was supposed to do that.
So, anything else that you'd like to comment on while you were doing this episode? You were making it?
Taya's voice is really difficult now. My voice is a lot scratchier than it used to be. I don't know if that's from doing Naruto or not, but it's really, I find it really difficult to do Teya's voice, and it's weird because I haven't done her voice in a while because Takahata 101, who plays Crump in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, actually took over for a while, and I kind of stopped doing Teya's voice for a while. So taking over again is a strange feeling to suddenly have to do that again. But,
Who has questions? What? Everyone's all quiet suddenly and proper. All right. Well,
You can ask the what? Have you seen the Millennium Rod?
oh,
It's right there, about that big.
Hi, this question is to Joey.
Yeah.
What do you really think of Kaiba?
What do I really think of Kaiba?
Because there's some mixed messages in some of the...
What do you mean mixed messages, man? I have Brooklyn rage for that guy like nobody's business.
What about those dreams?
Oh. We don't talk about those, not out loud. But I've read some fan fiction. And you could say that I have Brooklyn yaoi. But mostly they involve dragons, really big dragons, really slow dragons flying towards me. Then he's a giant and he's standing over me and he calls me a dog, and then I have a dog suit on, and then it gets weird. As if that wasn't weird enough.
Okay, thanks.
That's cool.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. This is to Bakura. How do you stand Marek in the first place? He's really annoying.
Have you
Okay, he's annoying in an endearing way, but still kind of annoying-ish.
have you seen his midriff?
Okay, fair point.
Yes. I just have to look at that while he's talking.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes.
This question is to Marek.
to who, sorry?
To Marek.
Oh yes.
Yeah. What do you think of Bakura and why do you like Yaoi?
Why do I like Joey?
Yeah, Yaoi.
Why do I like yaoi?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called yaoi. I just picked up a magazine and I looked at it and I had cravings.
Yeah, but
I like it. I like the artwork. I think the artists are very talented.
and every time you see Bakura, do you have any cravings or?
I have cravings for cream puffs. His hair is like a big giant marshmallow.
Okay. And what's your opinion on thief shipping?
What's thief shipping? I'm
know
kidding.
what-
I know what thief shipping is.
You know what it is.
It's very it's nice to indulge in fantasy sometimes, but I mean, I'm not a thief.
Yes, you are.
What did I steal? Everyone's hearts.
True.
Does everybody love me? Well, that's not. I guess I stole you. I'm sorry. I only meant to borrow them.
Okay, bye. Keep it.
Yes.
I actually found Mariana Miller actually went to the the dealer's hall, and she got me a little tiny Marek miniature figure that I want to use in a video somehow because he's so cute. He kind of looks like he's very sassy. He's kind of like,
Whatever.
I like the idea of Marek as a bimbo. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Hi. For the Neko.
Neko Marek.
Yes. This is for Marek. Does he like walking around in his Neko ears?
Meow. Only if you feed me fancy feast.
I will.
And if you clean my litter tray every so often. That's not very nice, actually. No problem. Meow. Meow. Kuriboh. Jaden.
Yo, okay, for Shizzle, yo, Lizzle.
Are you actually playing Gangster Jaden?
For Shizzle, hells yeah.
That's awesome. I'm impressed.
My question for Shizzle is how do you develop all your voices and different sort of things, and how did you get all of them over the years and for Shizzle?
That's amazing. I love you. But honestly, with developing the voices, it's something that was completely unconscious at first. Because I was up to about episode 28, and I watched one of the really old episodes, and I said, this doesn't sound right. This sounds like somebody slowed the video down. Because back then in the days, I was like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is filmed before a live studio audience. Hey, Joey, Earth to Joey. It sounded like I was a narcoleptic or something like that. I was about to fall asleep, you know, but it was completely like, you kind of get more comfortable with the voices the more you do them. And I've been doing them for 5 years now, so it's just something that happened naturally. But with something like Bakura, where it's a much harder voice to sort of maintain, you kind of just find a way to get that, to make that more natural sounding. Like, if you come up with a line that you feel very comfortable with, like for example, Bakura, weirdly enough, do you remember the comment specials that I used to do where they would answer questions by the fans? Bakura would, he at one point, he was making fun of Tristan, and he said, "My name's Tristan." And that was kind of the line I would always go to in order to remember how Bakura sounded naturally. And with Frieza in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, with Frieza, his line that I go back to is, "Dodoria, show them what they've won." And that's always a fun one to do. But it's just a case of, they become more natural the more you do them, I feel.
One more question?
Yes.
What do you think of my costume, alright?
It's pretty badass.
Do I look pretty?
You look as pretty as Jade and Yuki could be.
Alright. Foshizo.
Hello? My question is for Yugi. Oh my.
I don't know if I'm aroused or terrified.
I'd be aroused. I'm a sexual teenage girl, Yugi. Okay, so my question is, are we ever going back to that place with all the penguins? Penguins!
Maybe in
Friendship!
maybe in Capsule Monsters, I don't know. Are you dressed like that for the occasion? Are you wanting to get married surrounded by penguins?
Oh, that would just be so romantic. I love the penguin. They're so delectable.
I'm possessed by the spirit of a 5,000-year-old dead guy, and even I find this terrifying.
I would be worried about you if you didn't, Yugi. But I like a man who's a little bit standoffish. For a while.
Are you only interested in me because I'm the same size as a penguin?
I'd be lying if I said the thought didn't cross my mind, Yugi.
Do you want me to dress in a tuxedo and walk around like...
I would just love that so much. Oh, penguins!
And this isn't even bedroom talk. This is your normal conversation.
I know, isn't it arousing? Don't you find it arousing?
Let's go to the place with the penguins. Yeah, let's totally do that.
Okay, Yugi, I'll see you at your smaller panel for some one-on-one time.
Absolutely.
Are we ready yet?
Yes, I am ready.
Excellent.
Bakura, Florence.
Yes. At least he didn't call me Fluffy.
Fluffy?
No.
Yes, Fluffy.
Nico Matic.
Have you ever thought of getting together with Matic? Or maybe Melvin?
Oh, I wouldn't even hazard a guess at how it would go with Melvin, but as for Matic, yes, I've contemplated.
Like in that dream you had that Melvin said, "And now, Bakura, you are my boyfriend, and we are going out 10 times."
That was a very nice dream.
And
Very short-lived, much like most of my victims.
one more thing. Have you ever tried reading yaoi with Marik?
With Matic?
Yes.
You've seen the video of me watching television with him, haven't you? The number of questions he asks. You really think reading yaoi with him is a good idea?
Yes.
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 Hell yeah.
We wouldn't get through the opening chapter without even... Why didn't we create our own?
Maybe just skip to the best bit.
actually got. I was doing a panel at Youmacon 2 years ago, and I was talking about how all the men in Yu-Gi-Oh were very attractive, and that was probably why Yu-Gi-Oh had so many female fans. And somebody called out, like Marek, and I was like, really? You find this sexy? Would you like this on top of you going, ow, ow? And so there's been kind of a running joke that every so often, if I meet that person, I will mention the fact that I made Marek sex noises at them, and they weren't very arousing. Ow! Yes, Marek kissing noises are very funny as well. Mwah! He's a very loud kisser. I don't think Bakura would appreciate it. Is that okay? Sweet.
Thank you.
My question is, we've heard what your favorite character is, but what character did you have the most fun time parodying when you started Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged Series?
Which character did I have the most fun parodying when I first started? Tristan was everybody's favorite, and it's very hard to say that he wasn't my favorite because it's very easy to write for that guy, because you can basically just say anything that an idiot would say, and and they would sound right coming out of Tristan's mouth. I mean, also the hair guy, because back in the day.
Attention, duelists!
It was the weirdest thing. That was the first time that I ever did something that I wasn't sure people would like, but I wanted to bring him back over and over again, saying the same thing, saying attention duelists. The first time I recorded that line, I was like, every time he shows up, he has to say, attention duelists! And I didn't know if it would go over well, or people would be like, why does he keep saying that? But people thought that was hilarious, and it was kind of the first real catchphrase from the series. I don't know, because everything else was something that was like a one-time thing, like screw the rules, I have money, I guess was the first real, like, that was the first thing people picked up on, but Attention Duelist was the first conscious effort I made to have like a running joke catchphrase throughout the whole thing. He was a lot of fun to write for. Bandit Keith, obviously.
In Australia.
That was a lot of fun.
Also, can you say your voice gives you super strength?
My voice gives me super strength.
I was very proud. I actually got the English dub voice actor of Tristan to say that at Comic Con 2008, much to the chagrin of the Japanese 5D's production team who were there. The guy who made, the guy who produced 5Ds was actually signing autographs, and I was talking to Greg Abbey after the panel, and apparently the whole time he was glaring at me from the corner of my vision. I wasn't aware of it, but he was not happy with the fact that I crashed the panel like that. Hi.
Hi, firstly, welcome to Australia.
Oh, thank you.
And I was wondering, to Bakura, could you please sing the Spongebob theme song?
The actual SpongeBob theme song?
Yes, the actual SpongeBob
I don't
theme
know
song.
it that well off by heart, but I'll try. Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Sorry. But I'll send SpongeBob to the Shadow Realm.
First of all, you, sir, are a god.
Why, thank you.
Second of all,
oh my god,
what do you really find attractive about Bakura? Are you asking me or Martin Billany, LittleKuriboh? I don't know, you tell me. I like your voice. Thank you. I like the cut of your jib. What do I find attractive about Bakura? I like, he has a British accent, and everybody knows British accents are the sexiest accents. He's not British, he's just gay. You have to accept it. I like his gay accent. Oh, he's gay. Everyone knows the gay accent is the sexiest accent. Yes. I go back and forth on accents all the time. Yes. He has a nice shirt as well. It's a very blue and white shirt is very nice. Yes. Yes! You have a tiny gaydar. Is that for locating? Pointing at Poindexter. Ah! It's lying to you. It never lies. I don't like you anymore. I'm sorry I upset you. I like you though. Because you sound like me. Are we over here now?
Before I ask my question, I just want to say, on behalf of all of us, thank you for coming to Australia. This is a great gift. My question is, out of all the adjectives, out of all the duel monsters, how did you come up with the name LittleKuriboh?
Oh, that's a good question, because even I don't really know the answer. But originally, when I was trying to get into the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom, I was going to do fan fiction, and this is really a stupid thing that I thought of, but I was going to call myself, you know the Yu-Gi-Oh card Curse of Dragon?
Yeah.
I was going to call myself Cursive Dragon, like cursive, like the writing, yeah! And for all the jip I give 4Kids, that's a pretty bad pun, right? But Cursive Dragon was the original thing, and then I think I forgot about that, and I just wrote, okay, LittleKuriboh, because Kuriboh is kind of the mascot of Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, and I don't know why LittleKuriboh, because I don't know. It's a, huh? So I can be LK, I guess. I don't know.
Also, with your Naruto spoof series...
Yes!
Yes, you have got some pretty good voices for the characters. Sasuke is awesome, Naruto.
Why, thank you, I appreciate the
But with the next saga, have you got any idea for the voices for characters like Gaara or Jiraiya?
You know, it's interesting you should ask that, because I'm actually trying to work out what to do with Gaara, because I want to do the second Naruto movie, and Gaara appears in that movie. And Kaiser, the guy who does the directing of Dragon Ball Z, and I don't know if I'm even going to go with this, and you guys are probably not going to like it, but he suggested he be basically the very intimidating, very like Gaara, but have a very camp accent. I don't know. No? You got. But what was the other one? Jiraiya?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't seen that much Naruto. I think Jiraiya is the other sensei who...
Yeah, the really, really pervy guy.
The pervy guy, yeah.
The Master Roshi of Naruto.
I was considering, I don't know who to make this character, but I mean, for a while I was considering Jiraiya, because I want to do something that sounds like Hank Hill from King of the Hill. That boy ain't right. Bobby? Kind of like that. Yes. Oh! But I don't know if it would work for Jiraiya.
And finally, in your recent video, you've done what you believe to be an Australian accent.
Yes! tell me some Australian phrases that would sound good with that voice.
Oh. Hey, dingo ate my baby.
A dingo ate my baby, you say!
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming to Australia.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hi, I just want to know, 1 second. How does it feel to have more fangirls than me, Sasuke, or Sasuke's brother?
Sasuke! I knew that was you! How does it feel to have more fans than you? Wait, how do you know that I have... How many people in here like Sasuke? I think you have plenty of fans, sir. And I'm one of them.
Not enough.
But it feels... I try not to think too much about how many fans I have. Honestly, I try just to... I mean, I'm a fan myself. I'm not a fan of me, but I'm a fan in general. And I honestly, the whole fandom thing is awesome in my opinion. So I don't think of us as having fans. I think of myself as being a fan. So as far as I'm concerned, you guys, I belong down there, and you guys belong up here just as much as either one of us do.
I was just wondering, why does Mary call everyone Steve?
You know, I keep remembering differently, but I think that originally the Steve thing came from an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000, because there's an episode called Night of the Blood Beast in season 7, where every character seems to be called Steve. And I just thought, what if I wrote the script, and without thinking about that, I called one of the Rare Hunters Steve, because he doesn't have a name. He's just called Rare Hunter. And I just thought, yeah, he has to have a name, so I called him Steve. And then I thought, wait, now his friend has to be called Steve. And his other friend has to be called Steve. They have to have names. And I just called them all Steve in the script. And I thought, what if there was a reason for that? And what if the Millennium Rod only worked on people called Steve? And I thought, nobody's going to think that's funny. And now everybody thinks that's one of the funniest running jokes in the season 2, which I was very proud of. It's very rare that I write something self-indulgent like that people actually latch onto and enjoy. So I was pretty proud of that.
And can you also do the la la voice that Kuriboh does?
Do the la 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 la.
Thank you very much. Bakura and Marek are two of your best characters, so what are you going to do with them when they don't appear in the Doma arc?
Good point. I'll probably cry a lot. I mean, I'm still doing the Evil Council videos. Actually, I've written a new Evil Council video and I'm planning to edit it as soon as possible. But basically, to give you guys a hint of what to expect from that, and I know this isn't answering your question, but I'll try my best to do that. But in the next Evil Council video, Bakura leaves Marek's council. Because he's fed up with Marek, and he goes to join Darts' Evil Council. It's going to be a two-parter though, so Marek will try and get Bakura to join back, but the whole thing is going to be treated like they're going through a divorce. But as for the Doma arc, I don't know. I mean, Darts, played by Takahata101, he's a very funny guy, so I'm hoping that people won't notice, because he's so funny. But that's going to be difficult. A lot of old characters come back though, like Rex and Weevil are like main characters in that. And obviously you have the whole scene with Yami on the train dueling Weevil and the whole "oh God" thing with that's a pretty popular scene. But there's a lot going on in that series, so hopefully I'll be able to distract myself from the fact that two of my favorite characters aren't there. It'll be difficult though, I will admit.
Also, have you given any thought to doing the abridging the Bonds Beyond Time movie with?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm totally down for that. I'm probably going to have that done by the end of the year.
With Darkside Incorporated?
They will be involved, yes.
Ah, okay. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
This question is asked in front of a live studio audience.
It is!
How long does it take you to make an episode? Like, can you plan the whole season, or do you just kind of make them?
Oh, Team 4-Star do the whole planning thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm very much seat of my pants, you know, have no idea what I'm doing stuff. As for how long it takes to make an episode, it varies, really.
Yeah.
I was able to make an episode once a week for a short period of time, but I kind of couldn't get anything done in my spare time. I kind of didn't have a life at that point. But if I really like deprived myself of any fun or social interaction, I could do one once a week. But I'd say on average, I could probably do one once a month if I tried to do it like without depriving myself of all that stuff. But it's difficult. It's very hard to maintain something like this where, I mean, I've made 53 episodes, yeah, and you get to a point where it's like, what more do you say about these characters? I mean, honestly, you could honestly say that with the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I said pretty much everything I needed to say, so it's hard to kind of like say that there's more stuff to make fun of in the show. I mean, it literally is just, I mean, I'm not saying that this is all Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, but it's a card game in every episode, and there's little beats of character interaction around that, but it's very hard to look at a scene where a character is standing over here and a character is standing over here and there's a bunch of cards in between them and think of something different with that. You know, I mean, with Dragon Ball Z, it's kind of the same thing because they're fighting, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's very difficult to get to the point where it's like, think of something truly original with something like that.
Do you ever laugh at the stuff you come up with?
Do I ever laugh? With Naruto spoof, I do all the time. With Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is something I write to make other people laugh. Naruto spoof is something I write to make myself laugh. And fortunately, other people laugh as well sometimes.
Thank you.
No problem.
Besides Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged and Naruto and Team 4-Star stuff, you do a whole ton of cameos and just random bits from your characters from other shows. How does that work? Do like the directors say, oh, do you mind if you want to do this, or do you just audition like everyone else?
Sometimes it varies, it really does, but sometimes, usually if somebody asks me just a cameo for the sake of a cameo, like, for example, if somebody says, I used to get all the time, people were making a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Abridged, and Yami's in the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Abridged, so I got a lot of people saying, would you play Yami in my Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Abridged, because you are the voice of Yami in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and I honestly feel like that shouldn't be the reason that I do a cameo. I shouldn't do a cameo just because I'm the guy. Because I almost feel like I feel like if I'm doing a cameo just because I'm LittleKuriboh, that I feel like I'm not really doing anything that's first of all it distracts from what they're doing, and it also feels like I'm just sort of I'm not really doing anything myself. I mean, with Frieza, for example, I feel like I'm actually giving an acting performance. I feel like I'm doing something, because I'll admit something right now, I've never seen anything of Dragon Ball Z. I had no idea who Frieza was when they said, would you mind being Frieza? And I was like, oh, okay. And I looked at him and I thought about what he was as a character, and I thought, he's a tiny little guy, he's an alien, he's the emperor of the universe, he's kind of like Space Napoleon. with laser fingers. So I mean, that's basically how I tried to tackle him, was sort of with a huge ego, but very, very small, very diminutive, and very British for some reason. People say he's like if Mokuba and Bakura had a baby. But with other people, I tend to try and prefer, if I'm doing a cameo, it's either a one-line thing, or it's something where they give me a character to play, rather than just playing being me. I don't know. I feel like when I do my show, I'm doing funny voices. I'm not acting. But when I do things for other people, I prefer to feel like I'm acting. You know, I don't know. But as for getting in touch with me, usually it's just Skyping me or something like that.
Speaking of Frieza, in the actual series, like the proper series, Frieza transforms. Is it like what, 2 times? 2 more? 4 times?
Thank you. 4 times, yeah.
4 times, yeah. Are you going to still do the Frieza voice then, or is someone going to take over after that?
I have asked them this, and as far as I know, I'm still going to be doing the voice for Frieza for all the different transformations. I think they're just going to change the way I play him a little bit, and I think for like the final form Frieza, he's just going to be serious business Frieza. He's not going to be like, oh, it's quite fun. It's going to be no jokes, no joking around.
Okay. Yep. Thanks.
No problem. I guess that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks everyone.
No problem.
LittleKuriboh.